It has been one hell of a trip so far, in not a good way. On the way up here, I was towing the boat and lost a goddamn tire at 60 miles an hour, so we had to leave the boat there. Duncan was able to get the boat towed to Neah Bay and get the tire fixed. So now we're out here. Conditions look absolutely perfect. I don't know that I've seen it any better than this. So we're really looking forward to getting into the water and getting some great footage and then getting some fish on the boat. What do you think, Duncan?
Let's kill him.
Let's kill him. All right, we'll see you in the water.
What's up, guys? Thanks for watching my video. Like I said, conditions today were absolutely phenomenal. And as you see, when Duncan gets to the bottom, we're looking at probably 20 feet of visibility, which is pretty rare for the Pacific Northwest. So on this dive, you can see that Duncan is kind of scanning around, looking in the cracks and crevices, looking for some lingcod or cabezon. He lines up on a fish here and then realizes that he forgot to load his spear gun, so which is kind of par for the course on how the day went. On this dive, I get down to the bottom and I see a couple of really nice rockfish, and I couldn't decide which one I wanted more. And it turns out the first one I saw was a little bit bigger, so I wanted to get a shot at him, and I completely blow it. Kind of a new gun to me, so haven't been doing really well as far as hitting fish with that damn JBL. On this dive right here, you can see Duncan's kind of hunting through the kelp and looking into those cracks and crevices. For the most part, Duncan's really trying to target larger fish. So he's looking for, those big, more than 25-inch lingcod, and then, your, around 19-inch black rockfish. So he's being really picky, which is good. For me, I don't get to go out as often, so I'm a little less picky. On this dive, I found myself on the outskirts of the kelp forest. So I'm kind of hunting around, scanning for fish. On the corner of my eye, I see this lingcod kind of go over the hill here. And I was able to get a good shot on him, and I was pretty stoked about it. This was actually my first lingcod in 4 years. I've been spearfishing for 4 years, and they've been able to elude me for a while, so I was happy to have him. On this dive, you can see that Duncan is really paying attention to those cracks and crevices and those hard-to-reach places. These are great places to find lingcod, so he's really kind of hammering those spots. And you can see there's actually quite a few pretty nice black rockfish in the area. We were seeing some dandies down there, but like I said, Duncan was kind of being picky, so he was only targeting those larger fish. On this dive, I'd been kind of snorkeling around and saw a big pile of urchins, so I decided to dive down and use the tip of my spear to get a couple of them off the rocks. I think I got 2 or 3 of them. My wife was back at camp, and she really likes uni, so she was pretty happy I was able to get some fresh uni for dinner that night. So towards the end of the day, Duncan decided to go for deeper water, so now he's probably at 25, maybe 30 feet. As you can see, there's a China rockfish there that just kind of came into view. And as he peeks over this rock, you can see that there is a sea cucumber on the floor, which are out of season. So he lines up on this kelp greenling. He's able to get a nice shot on him. Once he gets it up to the surface, he's going to quickly dispatch that fish, and sometimes we'll take the time to gut him there in the water. Sometimes we don't, but it's definitely mandatory for us. We want to try to dispatch these fish and keep them from suffering for as long as we can. We'll also often bleed them. It helps the quality of the fish. Here's another deeper dive from the day. Early in the day, when we were hunting kind of in the kelp, there was a lot more current going on, so that spot we were in kind of helps keep the current from pushing you around too much. So later in the day, we were diving a lot deeper. Duncan had this lingcod swim up to him and decided not to shoot it because, like I said, he was kind of hunting those bigger fish. If it was me, I most certainly would have been bringing that lingcod home with me. But I respect it nonetheless. So as we get towards the end of the day, Duncan heads back over to the kelp because he wasn't really seeing a whole lot of fish in the deeper, more open stuff. He spots this school of black rockfish, so he decides to take a dive. He gets over towards the school and tries to pick out a fish that he likes. He gets lined up on him, gets to full draw, and gets a nice shot on that fish, kind of towards the head area, so it definitely wouldn't come off. Then once again, he kind of pulls it up to the surface so that he can quickly dispatch the fish. So right here, unfortunately, I only had my cell phone to get this footage, but a pod of orcas came out and were probably only a few hundred yards from where we were diving. Luckily for me, I was on the boat, so I was able to get a good look at them, and eventually Duncan got back on the boat so that he could see them too, and they are giant apex predators, so staying in the water with them is a little bit nerve-wracking, even though they definitely don't hurt humans.
There they are.
So this concludes part one of my two-part episode here. If you guys like what you see, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out and helps us be able to put out more content in the future. So thanks for watching.